first pattern I'll be demonstrating is the 2-point gait pattern. This can be used with patients who are full weight bearing or nearly full weight bearing. Since the weakness or pain is bilateral, it doesn't matter which extremity leads. The 2-point means that there will always be 2 points of contact with the floor at all times. So to start, the patient will have their crutches about 6 inches away from the feet, and they will start by moving 1 foot and 1 crutch backwards simultaneously. They will then move the remaining foot and crutch backwards in 1 step until they are back at midpoint. They will continue. Before moving backwards, make sure that you're standing up straight, keeping your crutches pinched there. Good. Shoulders down and back. And you will be moving your right crutch and your left foot back 1 step at the same time. Go ahead and try that. Good. Now bring your right foot and left crutch back together 1 step at the same time. Good. Next, I'll be demonstrating 4-point backwards gait. This, like the 2-point backwards gait, can be used when the patient is full weight bearing or near full weight bearing. Each lower extremity and assistive device will be moving independently of one another. Also, like the 2-point gait, the weakness, pain, imbalance, or instability is bilateral, so it does not matter which extremity leads. The patient will start by moving 1 crutch 1 step backward. They will then take 1 step backward with the opposite lower extremity, aligning the ball of the foot with the tip of the crutch. They will then move the remaining crutch 1 step backwards, and then bring the remaining foot back to midline. They'll repeat. All right, Sarah, to move backwards, you are going to start by moving your right crutch backwards 1 step. Good. Now move your left foot backwards 1 step. Now your left crutch back 1. Now bring this foot back to the middle. Good job. Now keep going that way. Crutch, foot, crutch, foot, crutch, foot, crutch, foot. Next is 3-1-point pattern for backwards gait. This is appropriate for when the patient is non-weight bearing or partial weight bearing on one extremity. It is important to ensure that the patient has adequate balance and coordination because weight will be applied through the assistive devices instead of both limbs. Okay, Sarah, I'm going to have you take 1 step backwards with your good leg while you keep your crutches even with your hurt foot. So good. Yeah. Now bring your crutch and foot back together in 1 step. Good. Next is sideways 2-point gait. The patient will start by moving the crutch and foot 6 to 8 inches in their desired direction. So if I want to move to the right, I will move my right crutch and my right foot 6 to 8 inches to the right. During this movement, I'm shifting my weight over to my left crutch. Next, I will shift my weight into the right crutch and move my left foot and left crutch back over to midpoint. Next, we'll be moving sideways. So to start, you'll move your right foot and right crutch about 6 to 8 inches to the right. And when you do this, shift your weight to your left crutch. Good. And now shift your weight back to your right crutch and bring your left foot and left crutch to middle. Next is 4-point pattern for sideways movement. During this movement, weight will always remain on the stable crutch and limb. Patient will start by moving their crutch 6 to 8 inches in the desired direction. This will then be followed by moving the ipsilateral lower extremity in the same direction. They will then bring the remaining lower extremity back to midpoint and finally bring the remaining crutch to meet the other feet and crutch at midpoint. For this sideways movement, each of your crutch and feet will be moving independently of one another. So you start by moving your right crutch about 6 to 8 inches to the right. And now you'll move your right foot over to the right. Now your left foot back to the middle, and now bring your left crutch back to the middle. Crutch, right foot, left crutch. Yep. Next is 3-1-point pattern for sideways movement. This pattern is useful for when a patient is non-weight bearing or partial weight bearing on one lower extremity. Patient will start by moving the crutch in the direction that they want to go. They will then glide the strong extremity in that direction and then bring the remaining crutch back to midpoint. It is important to make sure that the patient is gliding on the strong foot and not hopping. To move sideways, you're going to move your right crutch one step to the right. Good. Now glide through with your left foot. Now bring your left crutch back over to meet your feet. Good.